Welcome back to this Inside Story special from Cairo. Now, many Egyptians have welcomed the month of Ramadan, while others point out that the month only highlights the dire economic crisis they find themselves in, with food prices rocketing sky high.
Ramadan banquets are an act of charity. For some who might be dishonest, they want to improve their reputation and show people that they fear God.
We want them to control the prices. We are poor and are suffering a lot.
It would be better if the prices are brought back to what they used to be like.
Ramadan doesn't only affect Egyptians on a social level, it can have a political impact on the region as well. On the eve of the holy month, Egypt opened the Rafah border crossing with Gaza for 2 days as a goodwill gesture, providing temporary relief for its Palestinian residents. So what drives all these symbolic gestures? Well, joining us again are our guests, Fadil Sulaiman, Hussein Amin and Amir Sabah. Amir Sabah, let's ask the question. Does a gesture in Ramadan, particularly a political gesture, mean much more in the month of Ramadan than it means at any other time of the year?
It is under the same umbrella of the same spirit of Ramadan. People have a certain spirit, and the political authorities try to support that spirit by giving them certain news and certain action that will relieve them and let them enjoy the months of Ramadan to make the daily life as easier, whether for Egyptians or people on the region. And this is very much welcome by the communities and the people who are living through Ramadan. Yes?
Talking about it being very much welcomed by the communities, I'm sure governments expect that. Hussein, I mean, the cynics, critics would say, isn't that manipulating the holy month of Ramadan because you win public support by doing some good acts?
Well, this is their job, I guess, whether it's a matter of how you interpret the act. I think if any aid during the months of Ramadan, whether this aid is directed outside to Palestinians or inside to the poor, should be recognized. And in fact, the aid to the Palestinians during the months of Ramadan has a political dimension, of course. And it's not only is pleasing the people in Rafah or the Palestinian in general, but also they score pan-Arab and also on the local community. The criticism is going to be there, whether we like it or not. Any kind of political act, you will find some sort of criticism. Why you're doing this? You should really direct your resources inside, not outside. And we, through the years, we have been receiving a lot of criticism, even to Moed Rahman itself. Right now, with the new trend of sending boxes to the poor, people are still saying there is a lot of waste in these boxes, and people are making money out of it. But we need to be very positive and look to the positive side always. Otherwise, we're not going to gain. We're going to lose.
Well, let's look at the positives in a regional sense. Fadil Sulaiman, these gestures, like opening the Rafah crossing for a couple of days, does that mean that Ramadan also adds to a greater regional unity amongst Arabs and Muslims?
Well, actually, I don't see any political gestures in Ramadan, and I wish there could have been any political gesture given to the people in Ramadan. I see that the Israelis couldn't stop the convoy coming from Cyprus, but the authorities in Egypt stopped the convoy coming out from Egypt, going to break the siege on Gaza. I wish there would be a political gesture. I wish they use Ramadan, actually, but they're not still using it. And there's a lot of problems that really happened. There's a crisis in Ad-Duwayqa also that happened, and still we haven't seen really a political gesture even using Ramadan.
So
I wish they use
Ramadan. There's a golden opportunity, and
yes,
it's not being used.
And they're not even using it. I wish they use it. Whether they do that with sincerity or not, just use it. Do it. Do something for it. The people are really starving. The people are dying.
Hussein Amin, you disagree?
This is a national crisis. This is a crisis that happened just like the crisis that's happening in the Gulf of Mexico right now. So in addition to what is really happening with regard to the food crisis, we have the blocks of stones coming down on people in Duweka, killing a lot of people, and the government is really intervening over there, and the army as well. You know, if we can, there is a kind of combined, complicating kind of setting right now is facing the government. But we need to recognize I tend to disagree a little bit about the approach, you know, with the kind of resources that they have. I think that in a way they have achieved reaching the poor people, and there are so many associations are trying to help at the same time. I need to recognize the efforts. Why? Because if I don't recognize the effort, it's going to be you know, destructive criticism that we're not doing anything. We are trying to do something with accordance to what we have. So in the national crisis, which is combined with, as we have said and seen in the report, that the schools are opening up, the feast is coming, and the feast also requires a lot because of traditions. We need to buy, you know, clothes, new clothes, and the clothes and the, you know, all kinds of new things to the children. And the opening of schools, as well as Ramadan. See, these are four forces are really acting against the middle, lower, and lower classes. In addition, we have a national crisis in Duweka that is happening, and therefore there are, and also the opening, the convoy that was going to Rafah. So in this sense, you know, we see a lot of criticism coming from different directions. This criticism is mainly political, but also you can see many of this criticism is a sort of economic criticism.
Well, let's take some of what you've said and,
yes,
and pose it to
sure.
Amir Sabah. The feast of Eid is coming up at the end of Ramadan. Is there a lot of social pressure amongst people to buy certain things, particularly certain clothes, and prepare certain things amongst the poor? We saw it in Nashwa's report. Is that going to be another situation which highlights the huge gulf between rich and poor in Egypt?
Actually, family members, especially children, put a lot of pressure on their parents to buy the new things for the feast. And the poor people feel very much challenged. And this is the time you need really to support them, not only to give them the clothes and the food they want, but to maintain the solidarity of the family, the ingredients and the integrity of a certain family together, so you keep the people together and enjoying the feast. Yes, it's a challenging opportunity to come, and there is a lot for the people who have to help for the people who don't have.
Fadil Suleiman, where can the state come in to help?
Well, I would like here to mention something about the feast, the Eid. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that the rich people should make the poor people avoid even asking for charity in this day. And this is the kind of solidarity that we see. And Ramadan actually is also a month of solace, where people show solidarity with each other. And this is the spirit that we should keep throughout the year. Ramadan for me is like a training course that people where people practice some habits that they should keep as much as they can throughout the year. This is what I think.
What can the state do quickly?
The state do for this?
Yeah.
Just allow the organizations to work and to work freely, to access to the poor people, whether in Duweka or other in other parts of Egypt.
Gentlemen, it's been absolutely intriguing hearing your thoughts on Inside Story tonight. In the spirit of Ramadan, Ramadan Kareem to all three of you. And if I don't see you before Eid, Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak too.
And thank you so much to the viewer for joining us here on this edition of Inside Story. As always, we welcome your comments, your suggestions. You can email your thoughts to us at insidestory@aljazeera.net. From me, Imran Garda, and the rest of the team from the Inside Story special in Cairo. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.